Hello everyone, if you're doing news or more, hi. This is your Edo teacher, Edera of Let's Learn Edo. So I'm going to be taking you through a series of Edo lessons. For those who'd like to learn Edo language, I'll be starting with the alphabet. And after the alphabet, I'll be teaching other topics on Edo grammar. So if you want to have the videos of these lessons, you can just follow me on all my social media handles. You could like, comment, and share as well. So after these lessons, other lessons are going to be coming up. You know, for every language, the alphabet is the most basic unit of every language or every language grammar. So we'll be starting with Ábídí Ẹ. Ábídí Ẹ means Edo alphabet. Now, Edo language is a tonal language. What do I mean by tonal language? When you pronounce the vowels in Edo language, it's either sounding like a high pitch or like a low pitch. So knowing the tones of each word in Edo language helps you to properly pronounce those words. But before we start looking at words, we're going to be looking at alphabet. It's because it's from alphabet you form words, and from words you form sentences. So as we progress, you're going to be seeing tones on every word that I write in Edo language. So let's begin. All right. In Edo language, we have 32 alphabets. Ábídí Ẹ is referred to as Edo alphabet. Now we have 32 alphabets. If you look closely at these alphabets, you discover that there are some that are double in nature. They are double in nature. These are referred to as Ábídí Ẹ. So we're going to be looking at all of these shortly. So for letter A is pronounced as A. Then we have B. B is pronounced as B. We have letter D. D is pronounced as D. And we have letter E. E is pronounced as A. And then we have another type of E that has a dot under. We'll call this a diacritic, all right? So this is an indication that this E is pronounced differently from this. So this is A and this is E. For example, we have go. So the E sound is what we just pronounced in go. We have fi, just the same way it's pronounced in English. Now, if you take a close look at these letters, you discover that there's no letter C like we have in English language. So that's an exception. We do not have letter C in English. The C we have in English language, we do not have it in Edo language. So let's continue. We have G. After letter G, we have B. Now, this is also a variant of this. This as well is a variant of this, meaning we have 3 G's in Edo. But the difference is this one is a double consonant. Ábídí Ẹ, meaning 2 alphabets joined together as one. So when you see them in a word, just know that it's actually 1 letter, not 2. So if you find this in a word, for example, we have Ugbo. Ugbo means farm. Now, if you're going to count this, it's counted as 1, 2, 3. So it is 1 letter, though it is called Ábídí Ẹ. So you pronounce that as B. Now the next letter is R. We have this in O. This means joy. So if you're going to count the letters here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So because it is a double consonant and you cannot separate it in a word. The next is he, just the same way it's pronounced in English. Now, the next letter we have is I. I. English we say I. It's I or I. Alright? But in Edo, it's just one pronunciation. Now, the next letter is Ka. Ka. What we call K. Ka. Ka. And then we'll have for example, we have O, Ho, Ho, O, Ho, Ho. Ho means chicken, alright? So if you're going to count this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 letters. O, Ho, Ho. And then the next is B, B, B. It's pronounced as this. Bo. Okay, let me use Bolo. Bolo. Bolo, it means to be big. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have 4 letters in total. Why am I counting? It's just for you to understand that these letters are 1, is regarded as 1. So wherever you find any of this in a word, it means it is 1 letter. It is not 2. Ábídí Ẹ. So here's the last one. Alright? So after B, we have L, L, Le. The next is M, Mono. Next is Me. That is not a good example. Me is to be mad or someone who is insane. Me. But this is actually the letter that is spelled with. And then we have N, Ona. The next is O, Osasu. The next is O. Now, this is where a lot of Edo people make mistakes. When they see O, they usually write it as O. For example, they will say Edobo. This is actually wrong because this is an English way of spelling. Instead, it should be Edobo, because this is the letter that is being pronounced. So there's no OR in Edo language, alright? So this is O and this is O, so there's a difference between the two. And then we have letter P, and then we have the 3 arrows. Now I want you to pay attention here. Now these 3 arrows, they are pronounced differently. Some people pronounce this as re. In actual sense, it is usually silent in a word. It is not pronounced. Alright, we have example. Ow. Ow. Ow means I. You do not say arrow. No, I've never heard anyone say that. Usau may say Usau, or for short Usau. We don't say Usaru. No, it's wrong. It's Usau, meaning God has done or God did. So that's how this R is pronounced. And then the next R, which is RH, is the one that is pronounced. For example, we have Uru, 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 Uru. Then for the RR, this is more pronounced than this. It just means that this, when pronouncing it, is more stressed than when pronouncing this. For example, we have a name called Osaro. Osaro. Now, a lot of people do not know that this is actually the real spelling. Instead, they just spell like this and say Osaro. No, it is not 1 R because 1 R is silent. The actual spelling is Osaro, alright? Or Iyari. When you hear Iyari, Iyari, safe journey or safe trip. Iyari. This is how it is spelled. Now that's all about arrow. So these three arrows are pronounced different. This one is silent, this one is pronounced, and this is more stressed when pronouncing it. So there's a difference. So I think after learning this, we shouldn't be making mistakes anymore with this and this. All right? When you hear the word uwesi, uwesi, this is the one you are hearing. But I know a lot of people write it as uruesi. They'll be adding H to it. No. This is another lesson for another day. If I decide to explain every word that is here, it's actually uwesi. Okay, the next is C. C, letter S. We have T, T, T. Now, if you also look closely, you discover that there is no letter Q. It doesn't exist in Edo language. Just like we have in English, we have S-T-U-V, Q-R-S-T. So there's no Q here. So we have T, T, and then we have U, U, which is letter U. The next is V, V, and then we have another variant of letter V, which is L, L. We have this in Iwae, 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 L. So for those that are beginners, it's usually a problem for them to pronounce it. But after a lot of practice, you get used to saying it. And then we have letter W, which we pronounce as we, we. And then we have Y, pronounced as ye, ye. And then the last is Z, Z. So these are the alphabets we have in Edo language. Onyate, Ábídí Ẹ. Now, among these alphabets, we have consonants and we have vowels. So in our next lesson, I'm going to be showing us the different vowels with examples and different consonants with examples. So for more videos or for more lessons, please follow me on Let's Learn Edo in all my social media handles. And then you'll be able to learn proper Edo, how to read, write, and spell proper Edo language.